around your homes. This includes preparing your home if you live near the wood line or in an urban interface by cleaning all combustibles, including firewood, gas, and kerosene, from areas 25 to 50 feet away from your home. Also, take some time to clean those leaves, limbs, and other dead vegetation from your home, including gutters. We gathered resources related to reducing the risk of fires in your property, so head to buncombeready.org to learn more. If you have storm debris that's still on your property, please apply for private property debris removal to have this removed at no cost to you. Let us help you in ensuring that your home is fire safe. The deadline is coming up on April 15th, so go to buncombeready.org to get that application in now. For today's briefing, we're joined by Air Quality Director Ashley Featherstone to discuss burn guidelines after Helene and during wildfire season. Dr. David Cordy is here with us from the North Carolina Geological Survey to discuss landslides after Helene. Noah Wilson, Director of Sector Development with Mountain BizWorks, is also here to provide updates regarding its Rebuilding Together business grants. And Dawa Hitch, Director of Communications and Public Engagement with the City of Asheville, is here to provide updates from the city. First, as we do, we'll hear from County Manager Avril Pinder.
Good morning. Today, we will hear really important news from Buncombe County Helene survivors. A new Helene Recovery Center will open on Monday, April 14th at 8 a.m. at Cox Avenue, 94 Cox Avenue in Asheville. In this location, you'll be able to get help from FEMA, Disaster Case Management, Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, public roads and bridges, and more. The center will be open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. This center in downtown Asheville, where the former tax office was located close to Asheville Brewing Company. There is free parking available across the street from the walk-through entrance to 94 Cox Avenue. Don't forget that the tax office has moved to 182 College Street, now with free parking available in the deck next door after your parking ticket is validated. This new Helene Recovery Center location will be operated by Buncombe County and serve as your one-stop shop for recovery needs, as FEMA disaster recovery centers are beginning to shut down in the region and retransition to this new center for recovery. With that said, FEMA disaster recovery centers are still open this week. This includes the center at Weaverville Town Hall, which remains open through Friday, April the 4th, and the center at Fairview Library, which will remain open through April the 11th. You can visit these centers if you would like to apply for disaster assistance, which the deadline is only in 5 days. FEMA will be able to help with temporary lodging, basic home repairs, personal property loss, other disaster cost needs. Here are some important deadlines you should know. April 7th, FEMA Individual Assistance Deadline. Apply online at disasterassistance.gov or call 800-621-3362. Even if you didn't experience major damage, we can't emphasize enough how important it is to apply before the deadline. April 7th, Disaster Unemployment Assistance. April 15th, last day to apply for Private Property Debris Removal Program. April 27th, SBA Physical Damage Loan Deadline. And June 30, SBA Economic Injury Application Deadline. Find all the application information for these at buncombeready.org. We do have an important update on the door-to-door public health survey that we shared about last week. The door-to-door survey scheduled to be conducted this week in Buncombe County is canceled. This is due to the recent federal cuts impacting Centers for Disease Control. The staff who were providing assistance with this post-Helene rapid needs assessment have had their positions eliminated. As we shared, Buncombe County Public Health was scheduled to conduct the community assistance for Public Health Emergency Response, or CASPER. That survey was about specific public health needs or trends occurring in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Through the survey, it was our goal to better understand community needs, identify public health issues, and inform recovery and preparedness efforts. The Buncombe County Public Health Team plans on exploring alternative methods to gather valuable data on post-Helene community needs and will continue to support the complex and unique needs of our survivors, both now and in the future. Helene recovery and resiliency continues to take priority, and the state's hazard mitigation grant program is here to help. Through this program, there are 3 property protection projects to help homeowners impacted by Hurricane Helene floodwaters. These include acquisition. Your property is purchased at its pre-disaster value, the home is removed, and the land becomes permanent green space, reducing future flood risk for the whole community. Last night, the Board of Commissioners approved a resolution authorizing Buncombe County to enter into interlocal agreements with the City of Asheville, the Town of Black Mountain, and the Town of Weaverville. These interlocal agreements allow these municipalities to acquire hazard mitigation grant program properties within their municipal limits. The acquisition program is 100% voluntary. The other project is elevation. Your home stays in place. It is raised on a new foundation about 2 feet above the 100-year flood level. You will get temporary lodging and nothing has to be moved out. And the third and final project is mitigation reconstruction. If your home can't be elevated safely, it will be rebuilt. Your belongings are stored and you get temporary lodging and construct a new flood-resistant home on a raised foundation. Property owners with landslides that threaten homes, bridges, or structures may also apply to Hazard Mitigation Grant Program for assistance with slope stabilization. This program is open to commercial properties, but residential property applications have priority. Learn more and fill out the 5-minute grant information request at buncombeready.org or call 828-250-6100. The state is now taking interest forms for its private roads and bridges program, which is open to any resident impacted by Helene. If you have a private road, culvert, pipe, or bridge, we highly encourage you to fill out the form. You can also apply even if you have applied for FEMA assistance and with your private road or bridge. Fill out the form at buncombeready.org. If you are an agricultural producer who lost crops due to Helene or other natural disasters in 2024, a new funding program will be available to help with monetary losses. The Agriculture Crop Loss Program is live now and is accepting applications through May 2nd. If you have questions or need assistance applying, reach out to Buncombe County Corporate Extension at 828-255-5522. Again, that is 828-255-5522. Producers who want to apply need a copy of the Farm Service Agency's Producers Form, or FSA 578. And that you can obtain that from your local USDA FSA office. For those who do not have a form already on file for the 2024 crop year, local FSA offices can assist. Call the Asheville Farm Services Agency office at 828-250-254-0196. Let me say that again. 828-254-0916 to make an appointment to get a copy of this form. A disaster assistance hotline for crop losses related to Hurricane Helene or other disasters, call 1-866-645-9403. and that is Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, the disaster assistance hotline for crop losses related to Helene or other disasters, you can call 866-645-9403, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now we have a storm debris update. Debris crews work to complete public right-of-way debris removal through March, as the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was tasked to finish this mission by April 1st. So right-of-way debris removal has now ended, and 1.22 million cubic yards of debris was removed from unincorporated Buncombe County, the city of Asheville, and the town of Black Mountain. Now, there are some hot spots that the crews will finish cleaning up, but in all intents and purposes, right-of-way debris has ended. You want to thank the crews who have worked on public right-of-way debris removal since October. If you have debris that was not picked up through the right-of-way operations, please apply for private property debris removal, a program to have crews remove debris from your property for free, and that deadline is April 15th. But before you call the Buncombe County hotline, I do want to share that there are some hot spots that we are aware of that the crews will continue to pick up and clean up before they're all completed and cleaned up in Buncombe County. You can apply 24/7 for private property debris removal at buncombeready.org or by calling our hotline at 828-250-6100 or visit an intake center at the Fairview Library. That is through April 4th at the Fairview Library. I'm sorry, February 11th at Fairview Library, or the Weaverville Town Hall, February 4th. April 4th. I'm saying February. I'm going back in time. Thank you, Lillian. April 4th is Weaverville. April 11th is Fairview Library. And after that, you can go to the Helene Recovery Center, which is going to be at 94 Cox Avenue. When you do come
when someone reaches out to us, the first thing that we do is
when you do come to apply, have these documents ready. When a copy of your insurance policy and proof of loss from the company, a colored copy of your driver's license or a valid U.S. government issued ID, such as a passport, proof of ownership, a simple sketch of the private or commercial business property, identifying the locations of debris, and being hand-drawn is fine. Close to 700,000 cubic yards of debris has been removed from the waterways, and crews are on track to remove debris impacting critical infrastructure by June 1st. As warm weather approaches and residents begin cleaning their yards, we ask that you look to your local sanitation department for the proper way of disposing of your yard trimmings. To dispose of non-storm related vegetative waste in Buncombe County in the unincorporated areas, please use the landfill in Alexandra, and you can get more information at buncombecounty.org/solid waste. And of course, the Riverside Stump Dump is another great option. If you were impacted by Helene and you have not done so, sign up for the North Carolina Disaster Case Management Program. Whether you need housing, food, heating, clothing, legal, educational, or financial assistance, North Carolina Disaster Case Management is here to lend a hand. The team helps survivors find support from 500 plus resources and partners with you on your Helene recovery journey. Today, we would like you to meet Steve Green, an Asheville resident and disaster case manager who is working to help survivors.
when someone reaches out to us, the first thing that we do is to listen to their story, to hear what their needs are, and then to really systematically go through and understand how we can connect them to resources. And what we do is we have a list of over 500 resources, and we go through and see which of those resources is the best match for those survivors' needs, whether it's heating or housing or financial assistance or clothing, educational needs, legal needs, whatever the case may be. we do our best to try to match your needs with what our resource list has to offer to put a smile on your face.
To access disaster case management, call 844-746-2326 or fill out the intake survey at buncombeready.org. We continue to see high usage of our community care station at Owen Pool. This station is open to anyone in need of access to showers, laundry, water, and bathrooms from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on weekdays and 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on weekends. And now we'll hear from Buncombe County Air Quality Director, Ashley Featherstone.
Thanks, Avril. Good morning. My name is Ashley Featherstone. I'm the director of the Asheville-Buncombe Air Quality Agency, and I'm here today to provide an update on air quality and open burning specifically. Asheville-Buncombe Air Quality operates air pollution monitors that are part of the National Air Quality Monitoring Network. We monitor for ground level ozone and fine particles, or PM 2.5. This data is used to determine the air quality index that is reported by EPA and in the weather forecasts. The Buncombe County Fine Particulate Matter Monitor is located at the Board of Education in Emma. The Air Quality Index, or AQI, is meant to give an indication of air quality conditions for a general area and does not give specific information on a smaller scale and may not be representative of the air quality in an area like Swannanoa or Fairview when there is an event like a large fire in that area, for example. So in response to Helene, we worked with our partners with the State Division of Air Quality and EPA to install some additional temporary non-regulatory monitors and 8 low-cost air quality sensors for fine particles in different key areas to complement our regulatory monitors and collect data about potential air quality impacts from open burning of storm debris. This data, along with the regulatory monitoring data used for the AQI, is available on the EPA AirNow Fire and Smoke Map. The sensor data helps with localized information to inform residents about air quality, and it's also been very valuable for the meteorologists that do the air quality forecasting, improving the accuracy of these AQI forecasts. Lately, we've seen high levels of fine particles in the air from wildfires here in Western North Carolina and South Carolina that have resulted in air quality action days. When the AQI is green or yellow, air quality is good or moderate. But code orange means air quality is unhealthy for sensitive groups, and code red means air quality is unhealthy and is recommended that residents avoid outdoor activities and go indoors if they have symptoms. Sensitive groups include those with heart or lung disease, older adults, children and teenagers, pregnant people, and outdoor workers. So fires from burning are a significant source of air pollution that are regulated by air quality, and open burning is not allowed on these air quality action days where we're forecast to be code orange or code red. Air quality regulations limit open burning with regards to what is allowed to be burned and when burning is allowed. So the agency would just like to remind residents that the burning of leaves, brush, and yard trimmings is allowed on burning days between 8 and 6. However, the burning of household trash, building materials, asphaltic materials, cardboard, processed wood, and papers is prohibited at any time. To find out if it's a burn day, please call 828-250-6767 or go to abairquality.org. You can also link to the air quality site from the Buncombe County main page. We update the burn day status daily and include burn bans that are issued by the fire marshal and the Forest Service when they restrict open burning for safety and prevention of wildfires. Burning is not allowed in the city of Asheville or other municipalities where public pickup for yard waste is provided, and that includes the towns of Biltmore Forest, Black Mountain, Montreat, Weaverville, and Woodfin. Also, per the Buncombe County Fire Code, fires must be attended at all times, and you must have a fire extinguisher, water hose, or some means to extinguish the fire readily available. For open burning of storm debris, that would be debris gathered with the intention of open burning, including the use of air curtain burners or air curtain incinerators, or open burning of storm debris by a business or other commercial or government entity. Permission is required from the Asheville-Buncombe Air Quality Agency in Buncombe County or the State Division of Air Quality in the surrounding counties. And there are certain requirements that must be met. So please contact the agency at 828-250-6777 or at airquality@buncombecounty.org for further details about these requirements. We also have a lot more information about the burning requirements related to storm debris and other on our website. And under no circumstances should anyone burn synthetic materials or trash. So just remember, in general, it's vegetative material only that's allowed to be burned. We strongly encourage residents to use alternatives to open burning of yard waste and storm debris. And for storm debris, as Avril said, please sign up for private property debris removal program, and the deadline is April 15th. Information is available on the website. Chipping or grinding of material is also preferable to burning if possible, and consider donating suitable hardwood to others that might heat with wood as an alternative to just burning the debris. So to close, just some general guidance about air quality. If it looks or smells smoky outside, air quality is likely code orange or worse, and it's not a good time to go work in the yard, go for a run, or have the kids playing outside. If you do see or smell smoke, you can check the current conditions at the DAQ NC Ambient Information Reporter or that EPA Air Now site. The Air Now site, again, has that fire and smoke map that has the data from the local sensors that cover more areas besides just the regulatory monitors. And we have links to those sites on our website at www.avairquality.org. Also, when looking at that AQI online, would just like to point out that similar to weather forecasting, air quality forecasting is variable. And sometimes the actual conditions are not the same as what we forecast. So keep that in mind and be air aware. Also, you can sign up for air quality forecasts at enviroflash.info and go to our website for more information. We have a couple of articles on there related to open burning and other issues related to Helene and air quality, including how to make a do-it-yourself air cleaner and about air cleaners and filters in the home. So thanks very much for the opportunity to come and talk to you about air quality today.
Thank you, Ashley. Next, we're excited to have back Dr. David Korte, K-O-R-T-E, with the North Carolina Geological Survey.
I am David Korte with the North Carolina Geological Survey. I'm the program manager for the landslide hazard mapping team. Our primary duties are to map landslide inventory, landslide susceptibility, and to educate folks on landslides. We form multidisciplinary partnerships concerning, and we bring in geoscience, climate, and history to put together a picture of landslides in Western North Carolina. Can we have the next slide, please? Thank you. I'm going to show two slides, one of a conventional landslide. We'll call it conventional landslide. It can be either translational or rotational. And the other one is a debris flow. They're very similar in anatomy. I wanted to go over anatomy a little bit, anatomy of landslides, because I was notified that we're getting questions on people are asking what to do when they clean up their properties and what not to do. And the important thing is down at the bottom of the landslide is a feature called the toe. And when a landslide fails, this toe has now become a buttress and it is holding up everything above it. So if a landslide, for example, went into your driveway, it's all right to clear part of it out so that you can get in and out of your property and have emergency services get in and those kind of things, but do not start removing more material until you can consult with somebody as to how to do that. You need an experienced excavator who excavates on hill slopes to be able to take care of that for you. If you start removing that material at the bottom of the landslide, the material above it will start to come down. That's the important thing I wanted you to remember. The other important thing is this is an example of a rotational or a translational slide. The anatomy of both of those is pretty much the same. Rotational has a little bit more curved failure plane. The translational is more of a straight failure plane. But if we look at a debris flow, next slide, please. The only real difference between debris flow and those other slides I was mentioning is there's a lot more water involved in a debris flow, and debris flows come down mountain channels. So if you're thinking about rebuilding your house next to the mountain channel where your house used to be, you might want to consult with somebody in terms of the potential of another debris flow coming down that channel, and maybe move your house off the channel a few hundred feet if you have the capability to do that. Next slide. With that, I put up a slide for some resources for you. Our website is landslidencgs.org, where you can learn about landslide inventory, susceptibility, and stories of landslides in Western North Carolina, why they happen, how they happen, where they go, those kind of things. And also, I put up the disaster case management site for the state disaster case management people for NCDPS, so that you can have a convenient, quick access to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cordy. Our next guest is Noah Wilson with Mountain BizWorks. Noah's going to give us some pretty exciting updates on the grant impacts from the Rebuilding Together grant funds. I will turn things over to Noah.
Thank you, Lillian. Never get tall enough anymore, as close as we can. So, my name is Noah Wilson, Director of Sector Development at Mountain BizWorks, and I'm here on behalf of Mountain BizWorks today to announce total grantee impacts from the first round of the Asheville-Buncombe Rebuilding Together Grant Fund. This fund provided grants up to $25,000 to local Buncombe County businesses that were severely impacted by Hurricane Helene. In a model of post-Helene collaboration, Buncombe County, the City of Asheville, the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce, and Mountain BizWorks collaborated to award $4,070,755 in grant funding to 339 small businesses, supporting 2,084 jobs retained and 1,527 jobs rehired. Although we do note that the amount of unfunded need remains significant. Applicants reported economic damages of $139.9 million and physical damages of $75.7 million, totaling $215.6 million from 844 submissions. Of that, the program awarded $4,070,755 in grant funding this round, which still leaves $211 million in unmet small business impacts and needs, with 505 small businesses without a grant award at this time. Dollar-wise, while these grants were remarkably impactful, and we're proud to have been able to support as many small businesses as we could with these funds available, these grant funds covered less than 2% of the overall need. And so we are continuing to raise funds to extend these grants to more and more businesses who are needing these dollars. And notably, this is the need we have just from the applications that came in. This does not count the many businesses who did not have a chance to apply for this funding. Mountain BizWorks administered the grants as part of a community collaboration of funders and partners working to support local businesses through the Helene disaster. Partners recognize that these pressing unmet needs remain, and we're working to secure additional funding for these needs for future grant rounds, including funding the unmet needs from businesses who have already applied for this fund. We are working to fund the over $11 million in unmet needs and are very excited to announce that Soul Shine, as supported by the Dave Matthews Band, just announced a $250,000 grant that will help us get funding out to some more of the businesses who have not yet received funding. We'd love to see some more matching awards from around the community, and we're seeing some of those pouring in right now. Get us to a $500,000 amount and get more grants out to our community of businesses who need these funds and have not yet received grant awards. Now, I want to get into some of the nitty-gritty details. I'm a nerd. I love to know the details of how things are done, how things work. And a lot of y'all listening to the broadcast are also curious to how these grants were awarded. Some details about who got them. So the Asheville Buncombe Rebuilding Together Grants Program aimed to support small businesses most impacted by the disaster, physically and economically, and to reach all geographic areas and small business sectors within Buncombe County. To accomplish this, the grantees were required to submit information in line with key selection criteria. This included level of Helene impact, the pre-Helene financial health of the business longevity, a reopening plan for how they would get their business restored and rebuilt, local ownership. These were all part of the scoring criteria for the business awards and part of how the awards were allocated. Businesses awarded range from single employee sole proprietorships to well-known restaurants, arts businesses, manufacturers, and retailers. From the time of the storm to the time of application, the total applicant pool showed a loss of 2,146 jobs, representing a roughly 38% decrease from pre-Helene levels. The awards provided in this first round of grant funding will help to retain 2,084 local jobs. And the businesses awarded also plan to recover and rehire an additional 1,527 employees of the coming year. As one grant recipient, Susie Phillips of Gypsy Queen Cuisine shared, "To me, receiving a grant served as a vote of confidence and validation in our business. It had a positive impact on us and in the community by keeping all my staff employed and off of unemployment. It allowed me to remain open and focused on other aspects of the business." The program focused on small businesses, with 74% of awardees owning businesses with 10 or fewer employees. 91% of those awarded having 25 or fewer employees. This makes it even more impressive that these small businesses support well over 2,000 jobs in our community and plan to rehire so many local people. Awardees were included from across all the sectors that make up our local economy. Most represented categories included food and beverage at 34.8% of the awardees, arts and entertainment at 13.3%, retail at 9.7%, manufacturing at 6.5%, construction at 6.2%, healthcare at 5.3%, and service industries at 4.1% of awardees. These awardees represented the span of Buncombe County with grants made in 22 zip codes. Funding reached the hard-hit communities across the county, including Alexander, Arden, Asheville, Barnardsville, Black Mountain, Candler, Fairview, Leicester, Swannanoa, Weaverville, and Woodfin. In alignment with the selection criteria listed earlier, the scoring criteria ensured funds were awarded to businesses that had the most impact and least ability to recover without additional support. The awardee pool closely mirrors the demographic makeup and geographic distribution of applicants, and also reflects the program's focus on historically underutilized businesses, including those owned by veterans, women, people of color, and low to moderate income individuals. 3% of the applications received were from veterans, who received 5% of awards. 57% of applications were from women-owned businesses, who received 64% of awards. 71% of applications were from white business owners, who received 69% of awards. 21% of applications were from business owners of color, who received 19% of awards. 28% of applications were from low-income business owners, who received 29% of awards. The final section of my briefing today will be about the ongoing need for additional small business relief. According to the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, 40% of companies do not reopen after a disaster. Another 25% fail within 1 year. We know that every dollar deployed will help our beloved local businesses in this critical period, and that's essential. The Asheville Buncombe Building Together Grant Fund has been an invaluable tool and a great example of how deploying intentional, collaborative resources can turn the tides on these dire FEMA statistics related to small businesses' failure after a disaster. We want to beat those numbers. That's what this is all about. These grant programs, the additional support we're providing businesses are all about making sure that our community shows those statistics are maybe the national case, but not what we're going to have here in Buncombe County. Further, those $211 million in unfunded losses highlight the ongoing need for more grants to support a robust recovery, prevent degeneration of economic decline. Again, we welcome additional donations to this fund. We are continuing to receive those every day. We're very excited to see that happening, to continue putting more grants out into our communities across the county. Meanwhile, for more Hurricane Helene business recovery resources, including loan information and the latest grants, a comprehensive list of offerings from all small business support organizations serving WNC can be found at wncstrongtogether.org. That's wncstrongtogether.org. Thank you very much.
Almost low enough. We'll wrap things up today with Dawa Hitch from the city of Asheville for updates on their end. Thank you, Lillian, and thank you for lowering that microphone for me as well. Good morning again. My name is Dawa Hitch, and I serve as the Communication and Public Engagement Director for the city of Asheville. I'm standing in today for our city manager, Deborah Campbell, who is attending an accreditation event with our fire department. She sends her regrets that she could not be here today. In Deborah's style and in her absence, today marks 180 days since Helene impacted our community. For 6 months, we have witnessed incredible resilience, strength, and unity as our community works to recover and rebuild. As we continue this journey, there will continue to be other challenges to overcome, as we have recently seen with wildfires in our region. So before I jump into today's updates, on behalf of our city manager, Deborah Campbell, our mayor, and city council members, I'd like to take a moment to appreciate all of the firefighters in our region who stepped up in extraordinary ways. To the firefighters and emergency responders who have worked tirelessly, often putting themselves in harm's way to keep others safe, thank you. Your dedication, bravery, and service do not go unnoticed. Even with our recent rain, there is still a risk for wildfires. You've heard in previous remarks that threat is still there. And just as a reminder again, burning is prohibited within the city of Asheville limits. I'll now move into today's updates. The topics will be storm debris removal within the city limits, the restart of the city's regular brush collection process, a new and improved storm debris dashboard, community development block grant, disaster recovery funding, and last but definitely not least, the Asheville Tourist Opening Day on April 8th. So first up is storm debris removal. As of today, 595,249 cubic yards of storm debris and over 120,000 tons of mud and silt have been collected across Asheville. 192,832 cubic yards have been collected from the waterways within the city limits, and 288 private properties within the city have been cleared of debris through the private property debris removal program. Contractors are continuing that final sweep to collect remaining storm debris from the right-of-way. This includes private streets where there is open public access and where regular city trash collection occurs. Our sanitation crews who know our city streets best have documented all remaining debris piles within that right-of-way and have shared that list with the contractor for collection. And the contractor is collecting only those piles on that list. This process has been in place for a few weeks, as you may have heard before. So if you missed the deadline to have debris in the right-of-way, you may apply for the free private property debris removal program, also known as PPDR, until April 15th. I'll say that again, the deadline to apply is April 15th, a day we all know well. You can visit the county's website at www.buncombecounty.org to apply. Now into brush collection restarting. I now have that good news to share. Brush collection services for city sanitation customers resumed on Monday, March 31st. This includes leaves placed in plastic and paper bags, not plastic, paper bags, and or properly labeled containers. It also includes brush trimmings cut to proper size. As a reminder, vegetative brush that does not meet city collection guidelines will not be collected through the city's brush collection service. Brush is collected on a biweekly schedule. Find your schedule at ashevillec.gov or download the free app AVL Collects in the App Store. There's another exciting announcement about storm debris, and that is the city's launch of a new and improved storm debris dashboard. The dashboard is accessible via the storm debris page on ashevillerecovers.org. Key features of that dashboard include total cubic yards of debris collected from the right-of-way, debris collected from the waterway within the city limits, total tons of mud and silt removed, number of private properties approved for debris removal, and the number of private properties completed. As part of this launch, you may notice a transition in how the city presents the data. The previous 3 million cubic yard progress meter will shift to simply displaying the total volume of debris collected. This adjustment reflects the evolving understanding of storm debris quantities and ensures the public has the most accurate and relevant information. There's a few key reasons why the initial estimate of 3 million cubic yards of total debris needed to be adjusted. First, immediately after the storm, estimates relied on aerial assessments and on-the-ground observations to estimate the scale of the debris. These preliminary numbers were intended to guide response efforts, not as a precise measure of final totals. Second, not all debris is being measured in cubic yards. Some materials, such as vehicles and mud or silt, are tracked as individual units or tons. And finally, private contractor cleanup is outside of the scope of the city's dashboard. Many property owners, neighborhoods, and businesses hired private contractors for debris removal. Since this debris was not collected by debris contractors working with the city of Asheville, it is not included in the totals that you will see on the dashboard. Our hope is that the new and improved dashboard shows more accurately the scope of debris that has been collected through public channels within the city limits. For more updates on Asheville's recovery efforts, visit ashevillerecovers.org. Now, in regards to our Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Draft Action Plan, also known as CDBGDR Draft Action Plan, we are nearing the end of the public comment period. Community members can submit comments through ashevillerecovers.org. Through mail, you can drop those comments off at City Hall or email cdbg-dr@ashevillec.gov. And that is through this Thursday, April 3rd, so tomorrow. I would encourage residents to share feedback if you haven't already, as it will shape the final action plan, which Asheville City Council will vote on next week, April 8th, for submission to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD. So once submitted, HUD will have 40 days to review or request changes and hopefully approve the final action plan. And now for what might be the most exciting announcement. The Asheville Tourists open their 2025 season next week on April 8th. The opening week series hosting Greenville is billed as the Ville to Ville series. Throughout the series, there will be multiple opportunities for fans and the respective teams to raise funds for storm recovery in both Western North Carolina and the upstate of South Carolina. The $37.5 million renovation project at McCormick Field is moving along on schedule. The three-phase project is about 1/3 of the way complete. The 2025 season will be played under construction as a ballpark change-up season. An overview of what fans can expect to be slightly different from years past can be found at www.milb.com/Asheville. As I wrap up today's remarks, I'd like to remind the community to subscribe for weekly updates on all topics related to recovery efforts by visiting www.publicinput.com/Asheville Recovers. At this link, you can also sign up to receive updates from the specific recovery focus areas, including CDBGDR, storm debris, and more.
With that, I will close by saying thank you again to our city council, staff, partners, and community. And I'll now turn it back over to Lillian.
True story. Young Lillian used to go to baseball camp every summer at the tourist stadiums in my quest to become the first girl to play professional baseball. Still working on it. Before we turn this over to questions from the media who are on a separate Zoom link, I do want to share a reminder about several changes to Buncombe County Services. Our tax department, including tax collections and property assessment, have moved next door to 182 College Street, and parking is available at the deck at 164 College Street. On April 8th, permits and inspections, environmental health, and Ashley's team from Asheville Buncombe Air Quality will move to our new Consolidated Government Services Center at 35 Woodfin Street. That's the same building that houses the Family Justice Center. Parking is available for those services in the surface lot in front of 35 Woodfin. On April 22nd, the planning department is scheduled to move to that office. And on May 1st, election services will join the party over at that location. And we are hopeful that these moves make it a lot easier for folks who are trying to access multiple county services by housing them in one stop. If you want to stay informed about Helene resources and news, you can bookmark engage.buncombecounty.org/Buncombe Recovers, our new website focused on recovery, where you can subscribe to be alerted about input and feedback opportunities in the future, which we will be working on several plans for recovery, and we'll need the community's guidance to help make sure that those reflect our community needs. At this time, we will turn things over to questions from members of our media, if there are any, and I know there's one in the Facebook chat that I need to respond to. Question in the Facebook chat was about why did we move debris to the side of the road, to the public right of way, if the deadline has passed and it has not been collected. I want to be clear, debris goes to different locations. And so the debris trucks are going through and assessing those debris piles to ensure that they are collected and sent to the correct location. They do not go to our landfill. Some go to South Carolina, some go to Tennessee, some go to Spruce Pine. And so we know that the debris in the public right of way continues to be there. I see my neighbors are starting to, there's different debris that's being pulled out along the Swananoa River where I live. And it is in the public right of way. We do have those hotspots. We are going to continue to collect from those hotspots, but no new debris can be taken out to the public right of way at this juncture. If you have debris, please apply for the private property debris removal program before April 15th, and we will get your location onto that list. Another question was, I have applied, but nobody has come out yet. We have about 1,200 households that are on that list currently that we are working through. This is not an immediate pickup like a trash collection would be. And so we're working through that process. So please bear with us, be patient. But if you still have debris, the most important thing to take away is to sign up for that PPDR, private property debris removal program, before April 15th, so we can make sure you're on that list. And we will close out properties. We will double check those before we close out any of those properties. Do not bring any additional debris to the public right of way. Questions from the media?
Yeah, my name is Adriana Rojas. I'm with WLOS, and again, I've received multiple calls about individuals actually mentioning this issue. I would just say, more than anything, because of the animal encounters that they could be experiencing, or the potential animal encounters that they could be experiencing during this time, because we are in spring. I'm assuming, does this debris program have a specific time or date where they can actually like remove those those pieces of garbage to the right of way, so then that way they don't have to worry about that, or do they just need to keep it out there?
So private property debris removal should not contain any materials that are attractants to bears and other animals. So this is debris related to Hurricane Helene, Tropical Storm Helene. We're talking vegetative debris. We're talking pieces of building materials, mud and silt. So those aren't necessarily items that are attractants to bears in our community and shouldn't be a point of conflict between us and them.
All right, thank you. Just wanted to clarify that.
Yep. Any additional questions? Okay. Do you want to let folks know, if you're in the Guerin Creek area, this is important for you. We will be holding a Helene recovery event at the Guerin Creek Fire Department, 10 Flat Creek Road, on Thursday, April 10th from 4:30 to 7:30. And we will have FEMA individual assistance there, the private property debris removal program, hazard mitigation grant program, North Carolina disaster case management that Dr. Cordy spoke about. All those folks will be there to support survivors at the Guerin Creek Fire Department, Thursday, April 10th, 4:30 to 7:30. Of course, you can sign up for phone alerts by texting BC Alert. It's not case sensitive to 99411. Our Buncombe County call center it remains available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 828-250-6100. If you'd like to hear about a certain topic or from a community partner, please email those ideas to pio@buncombecounty.org and we'll try to get them scheduled for a future briefing. And we will look forward to seeing y'all back here again next Wednesday at 11 a.m.